My 26F best friend, 23F, might be in love with my husband, 26 meters. Where do I go from here? I am not Oop. Oop is you, throw our besteen hubby. Originally posted to our relationship advice. My 26F best friend, 23F, might be in love with my husband, 26 meters. Where do I go from here? Trigger warnings. Infidelity, emotional abuse and manipulation, accusations of child endangerment, mentions of mental health issues, financial abuse, possible homelessness, less than, and NBSP. Original post, February 27, 2024. Throwaway because my husband stalks Reddit. Also, I know he isn't cheating on me. He's at home more often than not and I have full access to his electronics as does he to mine. Note: some identifying details have been changed to protect my privacy, such as names. My husband and I have been together since we were young teenagers. We got married last year and have a 6-month-old daughter together. She is the light of both our lives as we both came from broken homes and won a better life than we lived growing up. My best friend came a few years later. We used to live in the same neighborhood and casually began to hang out. She lives with both her parents and siblings as she is studying to get her bachelor's degree. At first, she didn't like my husband, said that he was clingy and tried to insert himself into our friendship. WTF? She was civil to him because he was my romantic partner. For context, my husband is bipolar type 2, autism and PTSD, and it causes him to be a little socially awkward and miss certain social cues and taboos. I love him regardless of it all. Over the last few years, we have been hanging out a lot more. She comes over for a few drinks. We go to movies, and even visit local attractions together. We all three have a good time. And my husband does try to make nights for just the two of us often, too. However, last year my husband and I found out we were expecting a child together in January. I was working and fell ill because at the time, I was working a fast food place. I threw up and went to the doctor. Come to find out, I was 8.5 weeks pregnant. My life changed and I had become more busy to get myself ready for motherhood. My best friend saw me less and less and we couldn't talk as much. My husband I got married almost month and half after discovering we were going to become parents. That's when our dynamic changed. Recently I applied to school and am currently in college trying to get a law degree so I can become a paralegal and get to law school. I'm also a stay-at-home mom while doing college, too. I've been super busy. One day my husband gets a text, and it's from my best friend. She asks if they can talk. As she was upset, he took the phone call with me protesting and a few minutes later said, "Sandra, fake name. We need to go get Carla. Fake name. Her father is picking a fight with her." I get upset as we were watching a movie together and I had just gotten the baby down for bed. We go to her house, which is about 20 minutes away, and she stays with us for a night. As I get our daughter back down to bed, Carla asks to cuddle with the two of us in our bed. I was hesitant. I have issues with claustrophobia due to a traumatic experience as a child. My husband gave the go-ahead. We settle in for the night. Carla's dad apologized and she heads back home. Once she was gone, I blew up on my husband. What he did not only inappropriate, but was disrespectful to my boundaries. Ever since, when she has an issue with her dad, she calls my husband and vents. One day, while my in-laws were staying with us, my mill overheard a convo with my hubby and Carla. She was concerned and asked me if I was okay with it. I said, no, not really, but every time I bring it up, he gets defensive, saying that she needs help, that she is going through a hard time, blah blah blah. It is important to note that my Mill was cheated on in the past by her ex, my husband's father. We are also extremely close, and she sees me as a daughter. She hates cheaters with a passion, and my husband, who I will refer to as James, was using the same excuses his father did. She asked to speak to him privately and walked to our living room. They got into a heated match and James apologized to me. He said he didn't know that it was hurting me and causing issues in our marriage. I asked him, how would he feel if I had asked him if another man could sleep in the bed with us? He kind of deflated and tried to say, it's different, blah blah blah. His stepfather, Mark, fake name, spoke up and said, it is the same. You're uncomfortable with it. So is she. Quit with the excuses. James respects Mark quite a lot actually. Mark raised him since he was 8 and his own father was in and out of the picture. Once the dust settles, my husband truly apologized to me for his actions and said that he would do better. I kissed him and that was that. However, I wouldn't be right here if that was the end of the issues. Lately, Carla has been calling him 3 to 8 times a day. She says it's because she is bored and has no one else to talk to. I snap. I call him out over the nonchalance about the situation. How when she calls, he answers. How it is making me feel like a third wheel in my marriage, etc. His response? She's just lonely. You're letting it get to you. That night I slept in the living room. I'm starting to suspect that she is trying to monopolize his time. She calls him for over an hour each time he calls. They talk. She complains about her life, etc. Almost like she is his girlfriend or something. I am starting to find this relationship troubling. It's getting to the point that it is affecting my marriage. Where do I go from here? Any advice would be appreciated. Edit. Thanks everyone for the feedback. I'm going to have a talk with him, with his mom involved. He won't listen to me if I don't. I'm tired of fighting him over this. I should have an update with a resolution in a couple days. I'm going to read everyone's responses more thoroughly. Thanks for the advice. Edit number 2. My husband and I had a sit-down talk. His mother and stepfather weren't available. He promised me that he would explain everything in detail. I called Carla and she said that we could talk Friday when she wasn't busy with school. She had something she needed to air out. I will have an update on Friday. Hopefully. Edit number 3. I woke up to a text from Carla this morning. She actually wants to talk to me tonight. Alone. As her schedule has changed, we are going to have a heart-to-heart. Hopefully I will have some news. Edit number 4. I need some time. I will post an update later on. My heart is hurting. Hubby and I are getting a divorce. Thank you for understanding. Everybody. Heartbreak. Additional comment from Oop. I quit my job after I found out I was pregnant. I became a stay-at-home mom. Believe it or not, people can have inheritance and have no bearing on job status. My STB ex-husband is a construction worker who makes good money. I only worked for my own satisfaction at being able to pay for stuff. His uncle was a financially sound man who had no children. That's why my ex got the house. We were looking at getting our own house soon before he died. Relevant comments. Aggravating Owl 8974. You've set your boundaries and he continues to cross them. Is this how you want your marriage to be? She won't stop as long as your husband responds to her every time. Oop. You're right. I have issues standing up for myself. Zelacedial Oil 8922. Does he not understand how badly that reflects on him that he is unwilling to explain his actions to his own wife, seeing the pain and distress you are in regarding this situation? Or does he simply not care because he has feelings for her? Emo. If there was no cheating involved, he could have reassured you about that but explained what was going on with Carla was a personal matter that she needed to share with you herself. Oop. Sometimes he thinks I am too emotional. I have PTSD and BPD and he doesn't understand my disorder. He doesn't understand that I feel things intensely or passionately or that it is super easy to hurt my feelings. He never even tries to understand me. Autism or not. Honestly, I'm considering cutting my losses and going through divorce anyway. It's not worth the emotional anguish he put me through each day. And NBSP. Update. February 29, 2024. This update is hard. Everything about this situation sucks and I don't know if I will be okay for some time. Baby and I are currently staying with my friend, Tanya. To start, James and I are getting a divorce. Carla is no longer a friend to me or our mutuals. The betrayal is too deep for her to be friends with our group. As most of you assumed, James and Carla are indeed having an affair. It started about 3 months ago and just turned physical 1 month ago. They were planning on just up and leaving after James served me divorce papers. They used the ruse that he was helping her through emotional issues to hide the fact. I was crushed. She wanted to clear the air before it got worse. That was when she dropped a huge bombshell. James was going to try and get me to terminate my rights to my child in order for Carla to adopt her. The reason? My borderline diagnosis a few years ago made me unfit to be a mother and he was sure that the courts would agree. She then handed me 2 separate stacks of paperwork and left. I am contacting a lawyer as I am writing this. I was seriously hurt. You guys were right. Carla was a snake and only told me this so she wouldn't feel guilty. However, I am not letting my soon-to-be ex-husband bully me into termination of my rights. I called him afterwards and got very heated about what was going on. James just sat there in silence. I was crying afterwards. I pleaded with him to tell me what I did wrong. For a little bit of backstory, I had a near-fatal complication with my delivery of our daughter where I bled my entire labor. I had to have 2 blood transfusions and haven't fully recovered from it. I was not cleared for any extraneous activity for 3 months, including sexual activity. James was getting unsatisfied with all my doctor's appointments and not getting the sex that he wanted. I was hurting and ended up needing another procedure to remove some placenta that didn't naturally come out. I had to have my tubes tied because if I have another child, it will kill me next time. James wanted at least 2 more kids and this put an end to his plans. I married a monster. We were together since we were 15 and this is how he repays me? I thought I knew him. He was acting so caring and nice to me. I am absolutely heartbroken. I'm not even sure if I am going to update this anymore. But if I do, it'll be after the divorce settles. Thanks for all your concern. I'm going to step back and take some time to adjust. There is no chance for a healthy co-parenting situation. I'm fighting for primary custody with supervised visits. Carla will not have any access to baby, as I will ask the judge to make a clause preventing her from interacting with my daughter. Thanks for all the advice. Edit. I forgot to add that I contacted his mother and Mark this morning. They are furious that James is doing this to me. They are helping me foot the cost of a lawyer because I'm a stay-at-home mom and college student. They have kicked James out and he is now staying at our old house with Carla. He did give me the courtesy to get my stuff and didn't put up a fuss about me taking what I wanted. He told me that he will keep in contact for divorce proceedings. Relevant comments. Fragilis spectuncari. Why did you leave? He's the asshole. He's the one that gets to leave. Oop. It's his house. Inheritance. He only let me stay as a courtesy. His parents didn't know the full story. But now that they do, he overstayed his welcome. They are so angry. I'm not sure if his relationship with his mom or stepdad are salvageable. Miss Joey 78. What stands out is he's threatening to use her bipolar status against her despite being a parent with bipolar type 2. autism, and PTSD? LMAO, dude is evil and inept. Oop, I didn't say he was smart, did I? But with me having no financial way to support my child or a stable home, he has slightly better odds. I'm still in contact with his mom and stepfather. I'm hoping they will give me a place at their house for the time being. I feel like I am being intrusive at Tanya's home. West Adhesiveness 555, I am sorry you are going through this situation. As people say, trust, but verify. You are relying on his parents. But be aware that they are his parents. You need to have a support system that don't include them. Oop, I have no one else. My family turned their backs on me. I have no family members who can help. And NBSP. This is a repost sub. I am not oop. Jesus, this man is just evil and that woman is a snake. I sometimes really can't believe humans can be like this because good lord, these people make me sick. I wish nothing for the best for Op and her daughter for the future. May this man and that snake rot with karma. I've noticed a trend of people thinking it's super easy to terminate parental rights against someone's will. I wish X and Carla the most miserable of lives. Together or apart, they're both monsters who were planning on totally ruining OOP's life and taking her child away. Do y'all realize how utterly insidious that is? You have to be on a whole another level of evil to come up with this plan. X. And agree to participate. Carla. Men like OOP's ex, who decide to ruin everything a woman they claim to love has, simply because she can't give him sex for some time. Scare me the most. He's known her since she was a kid. And he still acted the way he did. That man has no heart. He is true evil walking among us. I'd F this guy, but the system's about to F him more than enough. When the oop starts the post with, I know he isn't cheating on me, and you're like, oh, okay, let's see, and you read it and like, yeah, he's cheating on you one way or the other. Karma is patient and clever. I'd love to find out how she comes around for Carla. I really hope Oop keeps Mill and Mark in her life. Carla asks to cuddle with the two of us in our bed. Excuse me. What? I read the whole thing. But I basically stopped reading here. My marriage and friendship with this woman would have come to a screeching halt right here. This is a whole mess of people who shouldn't have anything to do with raising a kid. As soon as Oop said she was sure he wasn't cheating, I was like, yep, he's cheating. This is so traumatizing. I won't even be able to sleep now. Poor thing. I'm so hurt and PSSED on her behalf. The audacity and disloyalty of both of them is infuriating. The lies, gaslighting, and plotting is on another level. I literally would have trouble controlling myself in that situation. I'm glad Op found out before they executed their plan and is being helped from the in-laws. Husband has bipolar type 2, autism, and PTSD. But Oop's borderline diagnosis is what they're gonna go after for being a bad parent. Delusional. To clarify, not saying either partner's diagnosis makes them unfit. It's just interesting that Carla thinks OOP's diagnosis will disqualify her as a mom, but James's diagnosis won't. I always find it so interesting when a bunch of literal strangers can read a post with lacking context and clearly see what's happening when the person living it cannot. Denial is a crazy drug. How much you wanna bet Carla can't have kids, and once James finds out he's gone drop her like a hot potato and come crawling back, because if he's with Carla he can't have his kid? The number of men who whine about not having sex after their partners have given birth is too damn Hi. Ugh. Dude desperately needs a punch in the face. I hope Whoop rakes him over the coals. Damn. Op knew from the first phone call. Otherwise, why would she be upset that her friend asked to speak to her husband? God, they are awful people. /
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.